What's up, guys? CryptoSavy here with your Bitcoin, Litecoin, and Ethereum update. Sorry it's a little late today. Usually they're first thing in the morning. On the weekends I run a little late. If you do want updates every single day, definitely don't forget to subscribe to the channel. Give it a thumbs up. Leave your comments down below. And if you enjoyed the videos, please share them. Let's help grow the channel together. And don't forget, we have a free Discord group in the description down below the video. Definitely check it out. It's totally free. Let's get on with the video. All right, guys, as always, this is not financial advice. Disclaimer scrolling on the bottom, and always remember this is my opinion, not yours. All right, so we're going to take a look at the headlines real quick. I'm leaning more bearish right now in the more short term, but we could go either way, and we'll talk about both scenarios. But let's take a look at the headlines first to get a feel for the sentiment. Updated. Bitcoin roller coaster rolls on. Bitcoin is half-priced. Hurricane insurance, says crypto fund. Bitcoin did not crash 60% due to the you-know-what. Analyst who predicted Bitcoin's January rally thinks 700 is in the car, or 7,000. What is that? Let's open that up and see what that one says real quick. What is he saying? A majority of analysts were expecting retracement to the 5,000s. Basically, he's bullish. So let's go back and take a look at the Bitcoin price analysis. BTC might drop beneath 48 again. So we got some bearish stuff, some bullish, bearish and bullish mixture. Fear and greed index, we're at 9. We've been 9 for the past 2 days. Well, yesterday and today we're at 9. So let's take a look. That is extreme fear still. Let's take a look at the monthly. As you guys know, we've been watching this trend line on the bottom where we got our bounce here. This is the 55 EMA right around the 4,600 on the monthly. This 9,200 right here is going to be pretty damn important in the future, guys. Let's look at one more thing. I want to remind you, my wife's webpage, inkerimage.com. There is a link to it down below. That's where she makes shirts like this. There's a lot of stuff on there. You can put anything you want on there, family pictures or whatever. You let her know what you want on the stuff, any crypto, anything. Just, yeah, check it out. That's a good way to support the channel. There's also hoodies, long sleeve shirts, keychains and stuff that aren't listed on there. Hit her up in the contact and she will get back to you. All right, looking at the weekly. So we've been watching this RSI real close, and we're going to take a look at that. First, I want to take a look at this trend line I have from down here. If we are to fall lower, guys, we could go as low as the 25.56 level. We'll take a closer look at that. It could also go lower, but I really don't think it will. As of now, things can change. But if we do look at the EMAs here on the weekly, as you can see, the 8 crossed the 55. Now the 13 looks to cross the 55 this week if we don't have a nice move up here. But I do want to point out the 200 EMA right here. We wicked through it twice last week and this week, and we're above it now. If we were to drop below this around the 5,400, we would most likely be in some trouble if we close below the 5,400 tomorrow night, which is our weekly close. I'm going to get rid of the arrow. But as of right now, we'll dig into the closer time or the shorter time frames. But first, let's look at the weekly RSI that we have been watching. We do have this red support and resistance line here where we capitulated past it in 2014, popped back above in 2015, came back down, tested it for support, and continued on. We did the same in 2018, capitulated past it, broke back through it, 2019, tested it for support, got support, but this time we came back down again. We capitulated below it, and we are now getting resistance on it. Let's see how the weekly closes. If we can close above this in the RSI, I think we're in pretty good shape. If we don't, we could have further to go. Let's look at the daily. All right, so this is getting into a little bit, more of the medium time frame, and then we'll go into the 4-hour. And then I got something I want to look at in the 1 hour also. And then we'll move on to Litecoin and then Ethereum. All right, so let's look at the RSI first. We had this rising channel in white. We capitulated down past it here, popped back above this trend line I just have off these wicks here. We did pop above it. Let me see. We could I tell you what, while I'm on here, I didn't think to do this before the video, but I'm going to do it right now and just see if it lines up, which it does not. So this could have been a falling wedge on the RSI, so we could get, you know, a decent move up, but we'll most likely come back down and retest it. Let's take a look at the price action. First off, for those of you that haven't watched the channel, we had a rising broadening wedge here. We had a measured move down here, the 54. We went past it, obviously, but let me get that RSI off there. This 54, like I said, we need to close above that this week on the weekly candle. If we don't, we could be in trouble. We also had this falling broadening wedge here in white where we capitulated down past it. Came back up, we blew through, got rejected at the 21 EMA, and now we are getting rejected again at this. This has now become resistance. The EMAs do look like they want to turn over on the daily, so we will see what happens there. But as of right now, we could, if we do get up, we could go up to around the, well, the first stop would be, first we have to break 64. If we are able to do that, 72 would be our next resistance, and then 77. And if this made a rising channel here, you know, just if, that's just speculation, but if it did and we came down and broke down past here, it would be around 4,200. But like I said, we're going to take a look at the shorter term time frames. Let's look at the RSI here. As you can see, I had a falling broadening wedge. We popped out of it, came back down. We are back within it now. I do believe we are most likely going to come back down, and I'm going to show you. This is why I'm bearish. I could be wrong, and it could continue up from here. But if we look at the EMAs here, we are dropping down past them. We're back below the 8. We're getting support on the 13 right now. The 55 is right around the 60, 50. And that range, if you've been watching, has been, we've been getting bounces in that range pretty frequently. Let's look at what else I'm looking at here. So if we are able to close above this on this 4-hour candle, maybe we have 3 hours left, but if we could close above this, a break of the 6,400, then I'm still looking at that 71.84. The triangle, if you guys were watching, both or all three, Ethereum, Litecoin, and Bitcoin had this triangle here that we were watching for the break of. And we did break out, and that's where I got that measured move of 8,000, around 8,050, which is a golden retracement of this whole move. So it's in between the 0.618 and 0.65. That is still a possibility. We may come all the way back down, retest that 5,400, possibly a little lower. We'll take a look at that in the 1 hour, my targets. But if we're not able to get above the 54, we're probably not going to these levels yet. We most likely come down to the 5,400, look for support there. If we don't get it, we could be looking at lower lows somewhere down in this region, 4,200 range, somewhere in there. Let's look at the 1 hour. If we look at the 1 hour RSI, let me get it on here. I have this rising channel here, and then I had this rising wedge or ascending triangle, whichever way you want to look at it. I had the support drawn off these wicks. We broke through, tested it for resistance, and got resisted. So chances are we are coming back down. Although if we moved this, we could be looking at something like this, come back down for another touch and continue up. But that's why I do daily updates. And guys, if you're in the members group, I will be doing a members only live chat here in a little bit later on today, so make sure you watch out for that. You should get notified. Make sure your notifications are on. Also, if anyone in here is interested in trading, I also have trading links down below. Definitely check them out. For all my links, I have deals worked out with the exchanges. You get some bonuses by using my links. You can check it out. Most of the information is down below. Click on them, set them up. They only take a second to set up. Make sure you don't do crazy high leverage. And yeah. The newest one I've started using lately is Dudex, and it's got a pretty cool feature in there. It's a risk management feature. It's good for new people, so check that out if you are new. All right, so looking at this triangle on the 1 hour on Bitcoin, now remember, we had the bigger triangle here. Now we have a smaller triangle here. If we are to break up from this, We would have to get through the 64, and that would, my next target, and that's the measured move of this triangle, would be right in the, actually it'd be about 70-50 range, somewhere in there, right around 70-50. If we're able to break that, of course we have the 72 up here, and if that breaks, next resistance 77, and of course we had this measured move of our break up at the $8,050 range, $8,050, $8,100 range, right in that area. But I do think it's a real critical area right now, guys. We are, let's look at the 1 hour, see where we're at. We are getting rejection at the 21 EMA. We are in between the 21 EMA and the 13 right now, but it does look pretty bearish to me, guys. Again, we would have to break up out of above the 6260 range, and then we have the 64. Another way to look at this could be we could get an ascending triangle here, and the break of 64, what would that look like? That would get us up directly to our 72. So depending on what forms here, and that's why we really don't know what's going to happen until our formation is done, and it could be done now. That's why I have this triangle drawn in there. Let me straighten it back out. There we go. So anyways, yeah, that could get us to our 72. So if we break above the 64, I'd be looking for the 7050 to the 7200 range. And you guys know after the 7200, we have 77, then 8050 to 81. Now, if we break down, these are my downward targets. Depending on where we would break here, if we break here, the measured move of just the triangle would be, it's actually going to be up higher, would be around the 5200 to 53 area. That would be breaking the 54. If we did that, we could be looking at this whole thing as a flagpole right here, and this being the bear flag, and a break of that would get us down to the 4686. Basically, guys, we're waiting for a break of somewhere below the 5950 for our downward movement, and a break above 6250. But then remember, we'll have resistance at 64. But if we could break that 64, we could be headed up to these higher levels. So that's what I'm looking at now. Did we take a look at the lower? Yeah, same thing. That 2556 target as a low is just off this trend line here, so you guys know. Let's get into Litecoin. Litecoin, same thing. We're getting resistance at the 55 EMA, support at the 21. We are definitely coiled up here. We should be getting a move. If we can break back above this 3906 and make it support, our next target's back to try to test out the 4142 range. If we're able to break that and get support, we're most likely headed to the 45, which is, whoops, that looks kind of messy, which is this trend line here. That's 4753, and then we have that target of the 50. Actually, it's gonna be a little bit higher today, right around the $53 range if we are to get a move up, which would be retesting this trend line here, this pink trend line, or whatever color it is. For those of you who watch my channel, you know I'm colorblind. And let's see, yeah, that $53 to $54 range if we are able to break up here. But like I said, I'm still more bearish here. And if you look at the RSI, you can see the downward broadening channel, and we broke through it, came up, tested it for resistance, got resistance. It does seem like we were going down, but if we do get our move up, this does look like it could be a little inverse head and shoulders on the RSI, and that would get us up here to the higher levels. Let me go back, and that would be breaking the 39. We could be headed up back towards to test that 4129. But like I said, guys, as of right now, until there's a break of 3770, that would confirm to the downside, and then we have 38 or the $39. If we could break that, confirms the upside. Now let's take a look at Ethereum. All right, in Ethereum, we have the same. Oh yeah, one more thing. In Litecoin, we did have that target of the 5350 range. That's just a measured move of this triangle that we broke out of over here. We did come back down to test the top of this triangle. That may have been the test there. So Litecoin, I think, is going to be key. It'll probably make the first move. It has been lately. Let's look at Ethereum, and we're just going to take a look at exactly what's going on now. It does look like Ethereum is breaking down. As you can see, the blue trend lines I have here. I'm not sure how valid this is actually at the moment, but if we took a measured move from where it's breaking down now, that'd get us around the 108.92 is where I'd be looking for a bounce. If that breaks, then I'd be looking down towards a double bottom at the $90 range. If that breaks, we could be looking at 74. Worst case scenario. And this isn't today, guys. This is, over a period of weeks. But anyways, yeah, I'd be looking at the 108 if we break down from here. If we are able to break up out of this, and the 55 EMA and our 0.236 Fibonacci retracement is at the 137. If we can break above that, we'll probably get some resistance around the 144 area. And if we can break that, next resistance around 155. And then we have our 0.386 Fibonacci at 166. And of course, our measured move from the break of this triangle was the 178. But we will have resistance at the 0.386 at 166 if we're able to go up, guys. And let's see, this actually is more like 177-ish. And that would also line up with the 200 EMA here if we were to get up there. Then we have the 0.5 Fib at 191. Excuse me. And the golden retracement zone at around the 214 range, which would be the top of this trend line. But guys, unless we can break above this trend line here, which as of right now is about 144, and gain support on it, then it's most likely we're headed down. If we look at the RSI, we are in a rising channel here. We broke above this resistance line, came back down. Should be, like I said, we could get, did that look the same in the, yeah, that was the same as in Litecoin. This could be an inverse head and shoulders forming. I doubt it. And this looks bearish to me. If we come down and retest this and break it, then we're most likely, I mean, we can't go all the way down here, but we're most likely going to come back down a little bit. And that's, I'm short-term bearish on pretty much everything at the moment, guys. So that's what I'm seeing. Like I said, members, definitely make sure you have your notifications on. I will be, YouTube finally enabled the members only live chat, so I will be doing that. And don't forget, hit the click the CryptoSavy logo above my head to get you subscribed to the channel. Give it a thumbs up. Leave your comments down below. Let me know what you think. Also, check out all the links down below. There's links to hard wallets to get your cryptos off the exchanges, Brave browsers, which I use. You can actually earn crypto by using the Brave browser. I have a link to that down below. All them links help support the channel. Check it out. You get something for yourself through all them links. There's always some kind of bonus or something, so check them out. Anyways, thanks a lot for watching, guys. I will see you later. Take it easy. Have a great day.